Okay, everybody. That was a great song from Brianna, Bryson Tiller, and DJ Khaled called Wild Thoughts. It's one of my favorite new songs. And welcome back to the Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice show, the Princess of Phoenix. We're here at Radio Phoenix where the Valley comes to talk, sing, and connect. And I have a lovely guest in the building today, Miss Kennedy Sixx. Hey, Miss Kennedy, what's going on, girl?
Hey, what's going on, people?
How are you today?
I'm good.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You know, you guys, this is going to be an exciting episode for all our singles out there. Single ladies, single fellas. Miss Kennedy has some great events and things going on with her wonderful business, which is called Baecations. And Baecations is basically a travel agency that coordinates trips across the world for singles.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And we're going to get into it a little more later. But right now, we're going to sip a little tea.
Let's do it. I love tea.
Do you like yours black or gray?
I like it black. Real dark.
So, the tea we have today is that a R&B recording artist, Bobby Valentino, had a sexual experience. You know, that's not unusual, whatever. But it was with a transgender person that he was not aware of that was transgender. And we're just going to get into that because I, respect everybody's, their gender. You want to be bi, gay, straight, whatever it is, that's your personal business, right? But I do feel like you should be upfront and honest.
Disclosure is definitely important.
I mean, like, we don't need any surprises.
At all.
We already have enough surprises just dating in life. So now I have to be surprised that I thought you were a woman, but you're really a man, or you used to be a man, or whatever. And it's just like, listen, I feel like that's really not integrity, and it's kind of like crossing the line.
Yeah, I agree. So, but I think the bigger question is, because sometimes people are fragile. How do you bring up that conversation? Like, how do they engage in that conversation? And I think that's where the line gets crossed. Because often, like in regular relationships with regular sexual orientation, well, I don't want to say regular, but within normal parameters, so male, female. When you're just dating and you're talking, just coming up with certain topics are sometimes like hard to approach. So I couldn't imagine bringing sexuality into that. So.
And then, too, it's kind of like when you're in the heat of the moment, it's like, do you really have time to be like, oh,
time out.
I, did this a long time ago or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, like, even though that is true, but yes, there is time. There's time to tell.
Good. You better tell.
Because then it's my decision if I want to move forward or not. Like, don't just trick me into being intimate with you and then you used to be a man, woman, whatever. It's like, you should let that be my choice.
Absolutely. If you used to be a cat, dog, alien, I don't care what you are, who you are, you need to tell me. We need to have that conversation very upfront and honest.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Well, this is the thing also that I feel like, when people have STDs or AIDS or whatever is required, it's like a law for you to disclose that to your sexual partner. So I feel like if you were transgender, you went under that, surgery, whatever, that it should be the law to disclose that.
Yes.
That part.
Yes.
So anyway, hey, you guys do you, but just be honest when you're doing it. We're going to get into a lot of great little conversation about the single life, but right now I want to talk about vacations. What is going on with Baecations? I love it.
Thank you. Everything is going on with Baecation. So Baecations is a platform where we have a online community primarily that we allow people to introduce themselves. So if they're looking for love, romance, friendships, romance, whatever they're looking for, we provide a space where people can go online and they can engage in conversation, dialogue, get to know each other, and most importantly, we provide a platform where people can enjoy being single. So we facilitate that by conversations, by hosting meetups and group trips globally. So our whole goal is for people to explore the world and each other. So the common denominator within our community is you must be single, and you have to have a love for travel. So the rest of the gardening is up to you.
Right, I love that. I love that. So tell me about like some of the trips you guys have taken and like where you go and kind of how the program works.
So we just wrapped up a fabulous week in Barcelona and Ibiza. So our trips range from, you know, either a weekend stay at somewhere domestically, or it can be very far away and exotic. So for the last trip that we did, it was kind of like a bucket list trip.
Right.
And we chartered a yacht and we explored the different islands in the Mediterranean. We did some of the, you know, the local stuff, and took a look at, you know, all of the grand cathedrals. So it just really depends. We also, you know, we engage in dance lessons, things that you would do on a normal tour, sometimes orthodox, sometimes unorthodox, because you're single, so you have a little bit, you know, your parameters are larger that you can explore when you're within that within that world. Right. So it just really depends. So sometimes we may just have a meetup at a local rooftop. We may do Top Golf. We may have an epic pool party. We have a Baywatch weekend that we do annually, where we just host a weekend in a certain state, and we kind of curate some activities for people to do. So it could be from a strip club to just enjoying a glass of wine.
I love it. I love it. So where are you guys gonna be? Where's some upcoming trips coming up?
So up next on the menu, we're going to Costa Rica. So we're doing that over the Thanksgiving holiday. And the ratios are very important. So we try to make sure that we have an equal representation, male, female, if we're doing just a regular trip. That way it's not too awkward, right, or it's not balanced. So ratios are very important to what we do. So we want to make sure we have a mixed representation. So we'll be, we partner with a local company, another company within the travel realm, Urban Travel. So we'll be hosting a awesome weekend in Costa Rica, and we'll be ATVing and laying out on the beach. We have a mega mansion with a pool on site, a couple pools on site, jacuzzi. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Exciting. I need to get myself registered.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
trip. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys do like payment arrangements and things like that too?
Oh, yeah, that's really important. Mm-hmm. So whenever we're releasing a trip, we make sure that we have advance notice. We normally offer a small buy-in amount, so to reserve your space, you know, the initial deposit of anywhere from $100 to $250, just depending on. We try to make sure that we're not pricing ourselves out of the market. Right. So it's very competitively priced, and it provides huge benefits, friendships. You know, we're going to give you everything that you want and more. We're going to try to go above and beyond, but we will allow you to make monthly payments leading up to. That's the easy part. So you get to lay away your life.
I love it. Everybody loves layaway.
Exactly.
Okay? So nobody has any excuses. If you're single, you want to travel the world, this is a great option for you. Can you just give us like your website and the way to reach you or find the information?
Oh, absolutely. So our website is welovebaecations.com. So, and you can also reach us via telephone, and that's area code 248-747-2177.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy to have you on this week's episode, Miss Kennedy, and I can't wait to go on my next trip with you guys. And we'll be back, you guys. This is the first segment of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice here at RadioPhoenix.org. We're going to get into some great conversations. It's about the single life here in the next segment, so you guys stay tuned. Okay, everybody, and we're back here at RadioPhoenix.org. This is the Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice show, and we just like to let you know that one way you can support Radio Phoenix is by becoming one of our sustaining members. For as little as $35 a year, members receive discounts, savings, and other benefits provided by our membership partners. And don't forget, the membership fee is tax deductible. For more information or to sign up, call 480-829-5746 or go online to radiophoenix.org. Click on the support tab at the top and then become a member on the drop-down menu. We thank you for your generous support of community radio. Yes, we love Radio Phoenix. We're bringing the world to Phoenix and Phoenix to the world. And we're back here with my lovely guest, Ms. Kennedy Sixx, the owner of Baecation. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. And so, you know, your business is about connecting single people. You and I are both single, and let's just get into it. You know, let's talk about being single and satisfied.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm divorced, you've been divorced, and it's just something about being able to create a life for yourself that's not necessarily based on anyone else, and kind of just like having your freedom.
I agree. So, being single, let's start with being single. It has a stigma. When you say you're single, you know, I can't tell you. My best friend is calling me, grandmother's calling me, when are you going to get a man? What are you doing with your life? So there's automatically a connotation attached to it that you're miserable or you're not enjoying life, you're not fulfilled. Now, don't get me wrong, I love companionship, and I'm the spokesperson for it. But there's a lot of things to enjoy with being single. So you get to, you know, enjoy yourself. You get to become the best version of yourself. So that way when you do find the love of your life, or when they find you, that, is more abundant.
Sure. I feel like you have to be complete and whole yourself before you can really be complete and whole and happy in a relationship. And when you have two complete whole people, then it makes the relationship even better. So being single just gives you that time to really self-develop, you know, and just find yourself, create your own happiness that's not based on anyone else. Because whether you're married, engaged, you've been with your baby daddy, mama, whatever for 10 years, you still have to be happy with yourself. They can't complete you.
That's true.
At the end of the day, just to be honest.
That's true. And a lot of times I think we look for that. We look for someone to make us whole. And that's not always the case. And sometimes you may be single and completely fulfilled and a whole person, but you have the right to be picky.
Yeah.
You get to, you have that authority to put together your own framework. You know, if I want to make sure that I date someone that's, you know, ambitious and driven and always 20 pounds bigger than I am at any time, I can create that role for me, and it's my right that I have to go seek that.
Exactly, and I mean, I think there's something big in being selective. Of course, just like you said, everybody wants companionship. I do, you know, would love to have a fulfilling relationship one day, but I have to take the time to really find that right person. And it's like, I rather take the time than settle for something that's not good for me, that's unhealthy, that's really not going to make me happy or satisfied, you know, and it's fine. And at the end of the day, just because I'm single, I'm not dead. People act like you're going to die because you're single. Really? Because I don't have to, you know, answer to somebody every day, because I don't have to clean up after somebody. Actually, that makes me happy. I'm single and satisfied.
I can sleep in the middle of the bed at night. I can sprawl out in the middle of the bed at night. I can have my laptop, tablet. I can, you know, eat cereal for dinner if I want to.
I don't have to cook no dinner. Listen, cook your own dinner. I'm just kidding. If you were my man, I will cook you dinner. Until then, you know, I don't have to deal with those responsibilities. And that makes me happy.
Absolutely.
I felt like a slave when I was married, because it's like, you gotta do all these wifely things, and it's just like, really? Do it for yourself.
Now, I love the domestic part of being in a relationship. I'm like, you know, I call myself Martha Jenkins.
I love that.
So we're cooking, we're crafting, we're doing all of that. Super fun, you know, set for wives, the modern day, fabulous version. We're doing all of those amazing things, except for I don't want to iron. So I won't iron. But
he knows. So the other thing that I wanted to get into is just kind of like not settling. I was just talking about that, and I feel like so many people feel, or society makes it seem like if you don't have a spouse, then you're like a cripple, you have the plague or something, you know. And it's just like, so people get into relationships that they're not happy in, where they're not fulfilled, whatever it is, just to say they have somebody. So what do you think about like settling?
don't settle. I mean, You shouldn't settle with what you want for dinner, yet alone a life partner. So it's okay to have standards. It's okay to say, when you're going out and you're job seeking, or even if you're looking for a car, you normally have parameters that you have in place. I'm looking for something dependable, reliable. There's always an adjective to describe exactly what you're looking for, and normally most facets of your life. So your personal, most intimate piece of you definitely have to be selective about. Now, I'm not saying like put yourself out of the ballpark. You have to be practical and realistic, but you can still paint a picture as big and as broad as you want within your search, and that's okay. Because when you settle, and I've been in relationships before where I definitely, it just happened. I'm like, girl, how did I get here? What just happened?
Wow.
So I made a vow to myself to not do that again. But sometimes situations do dictate, and we're more prone to say, okay, this relationship, we're here, we might as well, let's do it. And then we hope we can throw it on a wall and it sticks. But normally if that foundation isn't good because it's something that you're not happy with and you thought maybe you can grow into it, or you can look over it, or we often try to change people. We date in potential. We think that, this person, they're so ambitious and driven, and we're going to help build into that. And sometimes we're looking with rosy glasses. So, I'm not saying that those are deal breakers, but we definitely have to sometimes, I always say, look at it logically and not with your heart. So that way we're aligning ourselves to be in the best predicament possible, and we can have a fulfilled life when love does call.
That was deep, girl. That was real talk, on point right there. Because that's just the reality of the situation. It's like, you can try to settle and say, oh, well, they have 50% of what I want, or, maybe in a couple months or a couple years they'll get to that place that I'm looking for. But it's like, no, let's just meet you where, just be there now. If you're not already there, then it's like you're going to waste that time waiting on that person to catch up or become that person that you really want them to be. And it's just like, why settle?
Or you'll become super resentful because you're like, I thought you could do better. I wanted more from this, because you set these expectations so far, so high in your head. So you began hating everything that they do. You're like, look at how you're chewing crackers. I don't like it. So to not become that person, you just have to be super realistic, super duper realistic with what you want.
Yes.
Don't block your blessings.
Ooh, that was good,
But
girl.
listen.
Yes. And I feel like patience comes into play, because we always want everything right now in this microwave society. But it's like, if you're gonna find your soulmate, or that person that's really meant for you, it's not gonna happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why do you have to go through all these practice rounds?
I mean, practice does make perfect.
A little practice never hurt anybody.
Nobody. We talking about practice.
Practice makes perfect. No, just kidding. But it's like, and then that, it does cause resentment. You've been in all these unfulfilling, unmeaningful relationships, casual sex, whatever it is, booty calls, all that
Friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits, my situationship, all these things. And then by the time you maybe do meet that person that is for you, you're so bitter and broken and just burnt out and baggage that you just don't even wanna, you're not ready for the real thing.
Yeah, you can't think clearly. You can't see clearly, because people always leave impressions on you. So good or bad, you sometimes carry those with you, especially if you're not clearing your head and you're in that good mental space.
Yeah.
Because relationships, they may bring a lot to you, but sometimes they take away. They can be super depleting, depending on, what type of relationship you were in. So I always tell people, if you're single, enjoy that time, develop yourself, know what you like, and go out purposeful when you're looking,
Right.
Be intentional. Because I've been a serial dater before. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was just like, hey, my friends were like, we need a spreadsheet. Who are you dating? What are you talking about? Who are you talking about right now? And it was just, with no intention. It was just it was just almost like an experiment. You know, I can't even say, it was a lot of wasted time. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But now moving forward, I'm like, okay, well, this is the type of person I like. And that's still very broad, but I'm making sure that if I'm going to go on a date with you, because time is so precious and everything, I know that this is where I want to be, and I see something that may be there. So, you know, it can just start with basic dialogue, and we can go from there.
Sure. And I feel like that's just so important because nobody has time to waste. You know what I mean? Like, life waits for no one. So it's just like if we don't really have some common things in person, or that I know, you know, that we're kind of seeing eye to eye on different things, there's no point. Like, I used to be a serial dater too, and it's like, okay, I had all these meaningless dates, now what? So now I'm just more selective. I don't mind being by myself. I enjoy myself. I enjoy my life, and that's my prerogative.
Mm-hmm. I have some great stories to tell from being a serial dater, but that's all that you take away from it. Because it's like, you know, who am I going to meet now? What's going to happen next? And sometimes that luck might run out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely, dating alone is scary because you have to be vulnerable. So you definitely want to make sure that you protect yourself and that you're dating with your best interests.
I most definitely agree, girl. Well, I really appreciate you coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, you're so welcome. I really think that the business that you have is a great concept, especially for singles. And, you know, this was just an awesome conversation we had about living a single, satisfied life.
Yes.
I want to encourage all the single people out there to know, hey, you can have a happy, fulfilling life. And then when that time comes for you to meet that special person, it will come.
Absolutely.
You know, just have patience, love yourself first, and then somebody will be able to love you.
That is so true.
Okay, guys, well, thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, the Princess of Phoenix. We're bringing the world to Phoenix and Phoenix to the world. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Life, all one word, and like our Facebook page, Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
That's cool.